Hi guys, hi and welcome to this live stream of this topic that I really wanted to talk about for a while now. It's going to be a long one, so yeah, hold on tight. It's a complicated matter. There's a lot of things that have to be explained because not everybody are, having all of this, you can say not only struggle, but just a journey of fitness journey and body weight and, getting into the best shape of your life kind of a thing. So it does involve a lot of knowledge gathered through the years and self-experience, and then the rest is very science-based, which, I spent years to learn and apply and so on. So of course that I have to sorry, because I have so many thoughts right now in my head. You have no idea, I'm so passionate about this. So I have to start from somewhere. I'm going to try to, make it, somehow not as freaking long, but there's a lot of things to talk about. So I can't avoid that and make it like super short stream. Hi milkshake. Hi to you. So guys, let me know how is everything, sound, all of those things. I probably should just really light bring the headphones so I can hear you. So, okay, I'm clear. I'm clear, okay. So putting those headphones down really gently because my mic is very sensitive on things that I put next to it. Water fasting for you. Okay, so as always, guys, because it's a very important topic for me, and I am going to touch upon my own problem, which is going to help a lot of you guys if you also came across the same thing. And then we're going to talk about this very famous fitness YouTuber, Stephanie, which is um, uh, again, so many things in my head, but she's very famous on her own, and she recently got, very interesting experiment on her hands that she decided to do to herself. And you have to talk about that. She's the girlfriend of Jeff Nippert, which is one of the most, again, famous natural guys, professional bodybuilder, but from the natural side of things, Jeff Nippert. So she's also competing and she's a bodybuilder as well. And yeah, and if somebody does not know, I'm also a bodybuilder. It's just that I don't go to do shows, not yet, because in Bulgaria things are so messed up that I just don't want to deal with that. Don't want to get myself through that. It's very unhealthy to get to that point that you're so shredded, you're only skin and muscle. So I don't want to do that to myself, but I am practicing, literally practicing bodybuilding in every shape and form because I'm trying to develop and build my body to the fullest extent in a natural way. So that does include the same processes. Sometimes you're bulking and cutting, and with women it's a bit different, because you're mostly cutting and building muscle. In the same time, it's called body recomposition. You can do that when you're a guy too. Uh, but that is in the topic of fasting. That is going way in the fasting topic. So I'm all over the place right now. So I'm going to compose myself and start from the beginning. And I'm very happy that you guys are gathering here. But I have to start from the beginning and actually talk about something that I didn't quite ever touch upon, and that is what happened to me. I wanted to talk about that before, but I didn't exactly go there. So hi Ivy dear. Hi. I'm very happy that you're here. So again, guys, give me feedback. How are you hearing me and all of that, so I know if the connection is good. Okay, guys. Whew. So first, again, this is very passionate for me. Since I was very little, I wanted to look the best that I could possibly look like. And a lot of people have so many different physiques. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, sorry. I mean, unfortunately, for a lot of people, not everybody has this great ratio of, especially for guys, like bright shoulders and tiny waist. Sometimes people do not know what they have because first they don't think about those things at all, and when they get, with more fat, they just, gain around the waist, and they just become like one big square. uh, so they don't know what their real potential is. But in general, a lot of people are different body types. And from the female side, I am blessed with, you can call it that. I mean, what is called a perfect ratio. So that's great. So it's a pity not to develop that from, I mean, looking at things from this side is also, but it does count for everybody. That for me, my philosophy on this is that you have to try your best to take care of your body, because that shows respect to oneself. To respect your body means to respect yourself, your health, your quality of life, the longevity factor as well. So you can live, let's say, to 80 or 90, but you can be unhealthy during that time. You can be sick. You can barely push it till that age. You can have very low quality of life, or you can push it to that age and further if you're, taking care of your body, and you automatically will become stronger in every freaking way. Immunity, bone density, literally you'll be able to recover a lot faster no matter what age you are. But just, the fact that you're, training, it's going to build your body in such a way that is going to develop mechanisms for dealing with all sorts of stuff, and you'll definitely be protected from a lot of modern disease that a lot of other people have. Diabetes is one of them, and other hormonal issues. So that is just like a very quick sum of some of the benefits that you have to have in mind, some of the topics, some of the things that you in general have to consider when you think about yourself, your body, and your health. It's not just about how you look. Of course, that's important. It's how you present yourself to the world, and how you look. It is, to a big extent, a mirror of your inner self sometimes. I mean, because it presents the way that you are, managing yourself, so to speak. So it does freaking matter. Okay, I just wanted to get, a lot of things out of the way real quick that are very, very important. They're the basics. They're the default of where your thought process should go from, so you can understand all the rest of the things that I am going to talk about and what happened to me, which is the main topic here. And the next main topic, the second topic, of course, is the experiment that Sophie, sorry about that, but Stephanie, um, that she is going through, and what is she's doing to herself at the moment, and what do I think about that experiment. Yeah, it is also a mental. Yeah, actually, Milkshake does just brought up a very good point, because working out, take care of yourself and oneself. Some people think that like it doesn't require anything, but it actually requires the biggest, mental power and willpower. And if you don't have it, you can develop it. You just have to, you know, uh, you know, do this tiny little steps from the beginning, so you can, reach that level where it's not going to be as hard, and your willpower is going to develop to such an extent, then you no longer see your past self as normal, and you see your current self, as someone that needs to get better, somebody that did get better, but now the next level is right in front of you, and you just have to reach that, because development is the point, and bettering yourself is kind of like no-brainer, because it's all in. It's all about your benefit, and you just can't say no to those benefits. It's just that simple from that perspective, though. Hi, Miro. Hi, Miro. So I'm glad that all of you guys are gathering here. Hi, Antoine. Hi, I'm very happy that you're here. Yeah, everybody has this struggle. But now that understand that not all of you guys probably got into, the first things that I said. But basically, guys, first I'm going to just say that, first you have to have the knowledge. So many times I've talked to people today as well that never achieved anything with their bodies, never got to any kind of a fitness shape that is above average or anything at all. They just find so many excuses, like, when I was younger, it was much easier to do this, do that. Yeah, but you probably were a lot more active then, and their BMI was just a lot better. Mm, Daily energy expenditure as well. A lot of people have no idea what the heck that is. so so people just lack knowledge. They think that's very easy, just stop chocolate or stop this or that. And yeah, to a point you can lose weight if you limit yourself to some of those things, but then you're just gonna stop losing weight and you're not going to know why. So what I mean to say, guys, is that you just have to know, really be a doctor basically, but a doctor that is very knowledgeable on physiology, how it works, metabolism, what speeds up the metabolism. That age really doesn't matter in this. You can lose weight at any age, but here you have to have in mind, what do you want to achieve with your physique, what kind of a goals you're set up for yourself. And knowing more about your physique, you're probably going to set higher goals for yourself, because if you do know everything that there is to know at the moment, about all the benefits of having a better physique, health wise, longevity wise, quality of life wise, and then of course the appearance, you definitely would want to get better and better. You will not want to just sit around your ass, and you will see that old you, that sat around, like all day, didn't know what daily energy expenditure was, and just eating whatever and be like, I was younger, it was easier. There's no such thing in that context that you're thinking of it. It's just your mindset that is doing all the damage, and you're seeing this as a very easy way to excuse yourself and just be okay with being average looking. But it's definitely not okay, because you actually don't have the perspective of what you're doing to yourself and your body, and how you're actually aging much faster than you can. I mean, you cannot age as fast as everybody else. You can actually postpone that, because you're just going to give your body what it needs to continue to keep you younger, and not age every year like every other human being. That is also something that's just science, but a lot of people just have no idea. No idea, and they continue to grind. I mean, to grind in their teeth. I mean, to talk about the same old stuff without having to know any research, like knowledge. They want to argue with me. I mean, I'm here. I have what I have. I mean, I made the physique that I made, and I'm still continuing to create it, of course. Does not happen from one day to another, does not even happen for 1 year realistically, depending on what point you're starting, of course, as well, depending on if you're a man or a woman. And then it depends on your own metabolism, how you can learn your body, how you can learn to speed your own metabolism, not somebody else's, but you have to learn your body. So knowing oneself, literally in a mental way and in a physical way, is going to give you all the tools that you need to create the best freaking body possible. And you're going to be able to also sustain that no matter what job you have, how busy you are, or what have you. I mean, I went through it all. I'm busy till 1 a.m. almost every freaking day. And I find the time to build my physique and make it better and so on. So everything is possible, but people just don't know that, and they're surrounded with other people that think the same. And when you're surrounded by people that have this mindset, that have these average bodies, you're going to be average yourself if you don't know how to get out of the circle, you know. Um, for this reason, a lot of my friends, girlfriends, resent me big time because they can't see that happening. They just can't fathom the idea that they just can be, awesome I mean, they can be younger and you look better all the time. They just cannot fathom this. It's like insane. It's like, what are you saying? It's like cosmic, something like above reality. But it's not, guys. It's just that nobody looks at the research. Nobody tests this on themselves. And just nobody knows about all of those natural, actually, again, natural people that, achieved a very awesome physiques and how they sustain them, men and women, because again it's kind of different between them, but the principles are absolutely the same. So before I get to your comments, I just have to get some of the things out, and we can start with what happened to me, although I'm such a strict person, so to speak, and how even if it happens to you, you can overcome this, and it's a very common problem. Actually, it's called binge eating. But you're also going to understand, I mean, throughout this process, you're just getting more and more knowledge. And you're also going to understand what is natural, what is achievable natural, what is the difference between natural and enhanced, the benefits of natural and, not the benefits. I mean, the opposite of benefits of enhanced, and how those two things look, because that's another topic on its own. But a lot of guys are looking at other guys that are very muscular, and they're like, I cannot achieve that. Like, are you crazy? This guy is like, taking stuff. Sometimes they're going to be right, but sometimes they're not going to be right, because they cannot know how can you make the difference, between natural and enhanced. And the differences are very obvious for the trained eye, for people that actually are in this. But for a regular person, it's just not. So they again create this artificial image in their head that it's not possible, it can't be made, it takes so much effort and all of that. Yes, it takes effort, it takes years. But when it becomes a habit, you just become a totally different person. You feel different. You feel like you can walk through walls. You're athletic all the time. You can do stuff that your peers cannot do. And you're just like a really enhanced human being, but not in the unnatural way. You're getting enhanced by your own efforts. So it's amazing feeling. I just want to share that with the whole world and not watch the whole world be out of shape. Yeah, that's I just have to get out of my way. So again, I'm very passionate about this. I already helped a lot of people for free and keeping doing that. Hi to Arthur, hi to all of you guys. I'm going to check your comments in a bit. Very important to follow my own thought here, because there are so many things that I want to say and actually get to the main two topics of the day. But unfortunately, in my own life, with the people that I talk to on a daily basis, I just see the ignorance. Ignorance is just all over the place. People that, again, never did anything with their physiques are telling me, like, isn't that this? Isn't this that? Like, well, look at me, I look at you. The proof. The proof, I'm the proof. Can you see it? and they're very impressed, but they still like, thinking things and doing things that are based on their own prejudice. They never proved to themselves what they can do, but they are, putting everything to like, under their prejudice. They're seeing through this lens of like, it's a horse with, big, huge, I forgot the word for that, lids, like on their eyes, sorry. So it's very difficult to talk to such people, because they just don't know any better, and they don't want to know any better. I mean, in the same time, they have prejudice. They're like putting everything to, like, what is this? Their doubts and everything. But again, they don't want to know anything. They just like to lose a few pounds here and there. They think that everything is going to be achieved when you stop chocolate, and it's ridiculous. I mean, it's lack of knowledge about food, about their own bodies, about their physiques, about the human body, how it even works, about why the body creates muscle in the first place, why it gains weight, fat, sorry, why the freaking hell it gains fat in the first place. Nobody knows anything, anything. So I understand if people did not, was not like born to know those things. I wasn't as well. But I don't understand when they're clearly very ignorant about this, like very. And come and be like, I don't know about this. I have my doubts about this, like about intermittent fasting, let's say. And I'm like, I was doing this. I mean, I am doing this for 4 years. I've done this to myself. I apply this to other guys that I've trained and mentored. And, you know, universally, all the freaking research that is coming more and more and more, there are even channels here on YouTube that are dedicated to the latest research that's absolutely science based. It's absolutely real research. There's so many proof for that. You can experience it in your own body, and it seems that it's the universal thing that helps all of people, even people that have hormonal problems or whatever sedentary lifestyle. It can help all of you. Of course, you don't have to have a sedentary lifestyle, just don't have it, please. But yeah, anyways, I mean that if you have this mindset of a regular person, you're going to look like a regular person. You have to get out of the box. You have to not listen to your friends that are like, oh, come here, take this, go and drink with me, like few beers. What's going to happen? Like few beers and fries, tonight, and then the other night, and then the other night, and then the other night. I mean, there's nothing wrong, to go out with your friends and have fun, but you have to have the knowledge about what you're putting to your body, when you're putting it to your body, how your body is reacting to that. You can be like, oh, I used to have a better physique when I was younger, which was probably like just a few years ago for most of you guys that are still young. It's ridiculous because I see guys like 26, 25 look like big like sea animals, like sea cows. So it's getting more and more common for people to look fluffy and round than for people to look like Greek statues, like this guy right here. So, but actually the normal is this. You just have to know how to get to that. Okay, okay. Have to get myself together. I'm gonna look at your comments, then I'm going to tell you about how even though I have all of this knowledge and I've been doing this for a lot of time, and I've been gathering knowledge since I was a kid, how, at the beginning of this year, I got myself into a binge eating cycle. So, yeah. And what is binge eating if you don't know? So, let's get to your comments real quick, guys. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, hi Diego, of course, Diego Bun. I'm very happy. Miro is here. Antoine, of course. Yeah, Ivy also benefited from what I was teaching him. He tries to apply the knowledge in his life. Liberty High. Well, that's the struggle. That's the struggle. That's one of the things that I want to talk about. Okay, I'm just have to finish reading your comments. Yeah, that's very good point. Change. I'm going to, or just do it. That funny thing that Shia LaBeouf said. It is very funny. The thing that he was doing this, and somebody in the internet put a big sign under that said, "Do it." Yeah, Diego is right here. Of course, that once you cut out a lot of processed foods, sugars, yeah, you will lose weight just by doing that. But then again, if you want to achieve better results, you have to do more than this. You can't just cut some things out, because once you reach the point where your body has some kind of a sustainability weight, factor, all that you cut is just, you're going to see your weight when all of that is cut, but you're not going to progress further on because you haven't done anything to progress further on. If you only count on cutting those things. And the other thing is that sometimes you do have to eat those things to keep yourself sane and not break out in binge eating like I did. but counting everything. So counting everything is the key, and it might seem like a big nuisance to do, but when you have MyFitnessPal, it's actually pretty easy, and there's a database for all the foods in the world basically. And even if there is not, if something is not in the database, you can enter it yourself, uh, which is going to like take you probably about 30 seconds. Mm. Sometimes you have to have a scale to do this, sometimes no. It's just a matter of if the food is like has a barcode, you just scan the barcode and you just enter the grams. After a while, you get very good at estimating the grams and what everything in what is the weight of everything. But of course, if you can carry a scale, that's gonna be great. And some of you will say, I'm gonna carry a scale, like what? But they're very small these days. I would do it. I mean, I don't do it just yet, just because I need another scale. I can't take that from home. But it's a very good idea because it's going to give you persistent results every time. Uh, you know, you can't be wrong with that. But it's one step of the time. I mean, all of this that I'm going to tell you is going to help you, but it's one step at a time. If you're trying to do all at once, you're going to fail. So it's not a race, it's a marathon. You cannot look, from like fat to shredded or very lean and muscular in like 2 months, 3 months. There's no such thing. All of those programs that are marketed, all of those pills, all of that is absolute bullcrap, and it's made for money. Where what I'm telling you, it's all the knowledge gathered, all the knowledge tested, and intermittent fasting. It's absolutely free, and you actually save money because you don't eat most of the time. And of course, managing your hunger is also something that gets, very easy through time. Haven't had soda? Well, you can have actually, sparkly drinks if they're like zero calories. Some of them are not that healthy. It depends on what sweetener they're using. There's a lot of stevia, cola. Like in Bulgaria, you have green colas made from natural stevia and natural caffeine in English, yeah, caffeine. So it's pretty good and it does not make your tummy hurt, and it's really 0 calories. Um, Happy Friday, Arthur. I'm happy that you're here. Oh, awesome. Yeah, society again, Ivy, is another problem. Yavor, if he is here, he's going to tell you as well that his colleagues are like, you're not doing things right, or just go out and eat and stuff. For instance, they're telling him, you're not training correctly. And that is the guy, I mean, the guy that's telling him this is a guy that's bloated and fat. I mean, he has some kind of a muscle that he, before created because he worked out, but then of course he lost his weight. He never achieved like the physique that Yakta now has and still continues to create. But he has the knack, the atrocity, not the atrocity, but the ignorance and the arrogance to tell him how to work out. Because he just thinks like bro science, and Yakta is doing all the things perfectly like I'm telling him, and he's actually achieving results. Yeah. So a lot of annoying stuff like that. I'm drinking actually decaf because I'm fasting right now. I'm fasting since 4:30 today. Now it's 10:52 in the evening, so I'm just drinking black, decaf and water. So fasting is the only thing that's absolutely free, and you will lose your weight without losing muscle. Which is one of the most important things, so that you're not losing muscle. It's proven. It's not bro science in any kind of a way. I proved it myself. I did body recomposition, which means that I lost fat and I gained muscle at the same time. It's absolutely possible. and you don't need to bulk and cut when you do this. But I did an unintentional bulk, and that was my binge eating. So let's go to my binge eating now, finally. So how did I do this? Yeah, actually, fasting is the safest thing that you can do. It's not only safe, but it's helping you with, longevity. It's helping you with your immunity. It's helping you keeping your muscle. It's helping your gut microbiome healthy. It's helping your muscle gaining. Again, to not lose muscle, because there are two types of things that you can do. You can restrict calories but eating throughout the day, or you can restrict calories and do intermittent fasting. So the difference here is that when you restrict calories, and by the way, this is again a research that has been done, like when my grandma was young, and it's been done today as well, but it's a very old research. Originally was made with these two groups of people. One was just on like, let's say 1080 calories, like just an estimate real quick, because I don't remember the exact numbers. They do not matter here. The matters is the principle and how the body works, and why one group had a better result than the other. So the first group, they could have eaten, they could eat the whole day whenever they wanted, but they had like only 1080 calories, and 800, sorry. And the other group had to intermittent fasting, had to do that for 16 hours of a 24-hour day, which means that they could have eaten, they could eat between only 8-hour window. And like, for instance, from 11 till 7 you can eat. That is 8-hour window. So they eat in the same amount of calories as the first group, but only in that window. So the results were that the group that ate throughout the day were very hungry. They wanted to binge eat. The same thing happened to me, but in a different way. They wanted to binge eat. They start to break into the kitchen, the facility that they were in, so they can eat during the night. They were going all crazy because the calories were low, but although they were allowed to eat throughout the day, they could spread that out whatever way they like to. Although that was available to them, they still went more hungry, decided to break the kitchen and to steal food, and they lost muscle during that experiment, because the body in that case thinks that it's starving, so it starts to pull from muscle tissue and fat, whatever it can grab its hands on, because it's kind of like a natural state that you're eating a bit through a bit bits and pieces here and there throughout the day, instead of just eat big amounts of food in a smaller window. So this is just based on how we are evolved, because we used to go on hunting and like eating like the animals do, like for 1 or 2 days, and then we don't have food for another 2 or 3 days, and then we eat, and in that way the body develop itself to keep the muscle, because the muscle is what it allows you to be faster, stronger, to have the agility to catch your prey, to be a hunter, to be just physically active, to be able to survive. So the body started prioritizing the muscle instead of fat, and fat was very easy to take the energy from it, because fat contains a lot of energy and it's easy to dissolve, so to speak. So it's a very quick fat source. So in that way, your body becomes fat adapted. That is what it's called, is fat adapted. But in order to do that, you have to be fasting. You have to practice that made our ancestors, so to speak, able to survive and to be athletic, in the same way. So whenever you're eating throughout the day, it's very unusual for the body. So that's why you're starving a lot more. But the other group, they were pretty fine. They didn't lose any muscle. They were not hungry. They got used to not eating after a certain hour, like after 7. They could drink water and herb tea, and also black coffee, which does not contain any calories, does not break your fast, does not have any glycemic index, which means that it does not affect insulin or any of those hormones that raise your blood sugar, and that's gonna cause you to get out of fast. And yeah. So basically, when you are fasting, your body prioritizes muscle. Everything changes in the body after the 16-hour. uh, all the good stuff actually start, because then the body starts to break down exactly the fat, because it does not have any more to break down the glucose that you're created during the day. So when you eat, your body turns the food into glucose, then that is stored at in your body, and that is what it draws from for energy. And when that glucose is over, it's not longer there, it's depleted, then it starts to take from your fat, and that is what happens when you're fasting. So after the 16-hour, or depending on how much you eat during the day, that glucose could be depleted earlier. And when that happens, your body starts to take from your fat storages. That's how you lose only the fat. And in the meantime, when you work out, you're prioritizing the muscle, because you're sending your body signals. Hey, I need to keep those muscles intact because I'm using them. I actually, overloading them. I'm doing something with them. In order to keep doing that, I have to create muscle tissue. So that is what you're telling your body, and your body takes that signal and initiates the processes needed to create muscle tissue and to keep it there. So it's all about knowing how the body works. To hack it, so to speak, is not actually hacking in that sense, but it is knowing how to instruct it, to give it your commands. Like you give a program into on your computer to do certain commands, so it can do what you want it to do. So in that same way, it's about biological organism. You can program it to do whatever you want it to do, and it's very, very simple actually. Just again, it's based on how we evolved. And you can see similar things in mice and other animals. With them, the differences between when they get benefits, it's kind of different, because they live like shorter. Like for instance, in mice, the good stuff start earlier. Their metabolism gets better as well. That contrary to popular belief, again based on absolutely nothing, fasting does not slow your metabolism, actually enhances it, because your body gets really optimized to absorb and process food whenever you're eating, because you're eating in a very small window. The smaller the window, the better your body is going to become in taking nutrients from the food, because fasting creates better microbiome, it creates better digestion, and that on itself creates a better ability of your body to absorb the nutrients and micronutrients in your food, which means that whenever you eat protein, carbohydrates, and they on themselves, they also contain micronutrients, which are like amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and so on. Those micronutrients are going to be absorbed and actually used for your functions, for your life, for everything else in your body. But when your stomach is not okay, when your microbiome is not okay, when you're eating throughout the day, you're eating junk and what have you, those nutrients, even if you try to eat fruit, or even if you try to eat vegetables or protein, that's not going to be absorbed as in the same way than if you had a healthier gut. So it's very important. Before I started fasting, I had very huge problems with stomach acid. I had to take, pills every day for that, because I had acid like going down and up and down my throat every morning. And when I ate, if I didn't eat like a biscuit or something else, I just couldn't, stop the fire in my stomach basically. So That is terrible, guys, and that happened because of experiments with different types of eating. It was not healthy at all. I mean, it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot because everything is a learned process, but it was really harmful for me and my metabolism. So that took a while to, get back on track. But that was years ago, and now we have to talk about the freaking binge eating. But because you guys are asking me, I had to answer that. So the way that I healed my stomach was through fasting. I mean, people think that if you're not eating, you're going to create more acid in the stomach, but it's not the case when you're fasting. Again, guys, when you're fasting, the processes in your body and how the body treats your physiology is totally different. And with time, it's not going to happen from today till the next day, but with time, it's going to get better and better and better. You're just going to program your body to do whatever you want. So I drink water at the mornings, every morning, and after like a week or two, I don't remember exactly, but it wasn't that long. When my acids stop entirely, I could eat whatever I want. I thought that I totally ruined my stomach. I thought that I'm going to get like I don't know what's the word in English, but in Bulgarian it's gastrite. I really don't know how that is in English, but my mother had that. She made that with bad diet and so on. So I was very worried that I'm going to get this, but I didn't, thankfully, because fasting saved me. And now I'm upgraded the fasting, so I'm fasting like 19 and through 20 hours a day. So the better you get at it, you can just make the window smaller and you're going to get better benefits. Also, the other benefits that I didn't mention is autophagy. Autophagy could start, I mean, depending on your physiology, but autophagy starts after the 16 hour, after the 18 hours sometimes. That means that your cells are basically recycled and they're brought back to the body so they can function. But if you don't have autophagy, your cells are dying and you're getting older. So that's the only way, I mean, autophagy, to keep yourself younger and actually use your old cells, and the body makes them brand new and gets them back into the game, so to speak, and you're youthful naturally, basically. So that's amazing way, and yeah, autophagy can only be triggered through fasting. Some argue that could only be triggered through other means of eating, when it's like super clean or some other things happened, like chemical reactions in the body. But the easiest and fastest and proven way so far has been definitely, fasting. And autophagy was discovered by one scientist that got a Nobel Prize for this in 2016. So it's definitely a real thing, and more research is coming out of that. So again, guys, fasting gives you, better health overall, longevity, better even. One thing that I forgot, yeah, for the benefits again, is that when you're not eating for the longest time that you're not eating, your body not only breaks down your fat, but also breaks down your carcinogens. So it destroys cancer cells, it recycles them, they just no longer exist, basically. It destroys all the antioxidants, all the bad stuff that it detoxicates you, basically, because remember when all of those juice fasts came up, where well, nothing is going to clean your organism, your body, better than fasting. No juice fast, no whatever you like, nothing. Best thing for your body is not eating. It's definitely not to put something in again, because your body is like a machine, like a furnace. If you keep putting stuff into the furnace, it's going to keep working to process that. And if you stop feeding it, if you start putting things into that furnace, it will cease to exhaust itself, and is going to begin processes of recovering, if that furnace was a live person. But you know what I mean. So in order to give your body time to recover, you have to stop putting things in it. That's the key. That's the way that the body works. You have to give the body time to rest. You have to give your digestive system time to rest as well, not only sleep and everything else. You don't need your food to be rotten in your stomach, which actually happens when you again have bad digestion and when you eat before you go to bed. I really need to drink something. I mean, I'm gonna lose my voice from so much talking. But basically, guys, fasting gives you absolutely everything. I mean, body recomposition. You don't have to lose muscle to gain muscle. I mean, you're losing fat and you're gaining muscle. It's not going to be like super fast process, but the earlier that you start this in life, of course, the better. But it's going to give you benefits in any age. I mean, on any age, any whatever. But it's better to know the circadian rhythms. Those are the rhythms of night and day that the body follows, and it's really not good to eat at night. I don't think it is. I mean, some people don't really have a problem with that, but I do think that more optimized, as far as I've seen and read and tested and so on, it's definitely better to not have food when you're sleeping, because that is going to be hard on your body when you sleep. That is going to, make everything worse. And you're not going to gain more muscle if you eat like protein before bed or all of that nonsense. Protein is another topic, but basically protein synthesis is like 48 hours, and whatever you get your protein in a 24-hour period, you're going to get that protein synthesis in till the 48 hour. So and it's that time that you can make gains as well. So it's not like you have to eat right after a workout or um, anything of that kind. But I'm going to get to your comments real quick, guys. Please bear with me because yeah, I really have to, of course, answer you. But after that, I'm shutting up about all the basic information, because if you want all the basic information, you can always go back and watch also my other streams. But I really have to get to the topics because they are very important. That's what I just told you is also important. But yeah, I mean, I it's good to answer all of your questions when I'm actually finished with the streaming. Not with the stream, I mean with the topics. So I don't lose my thoughts. Oh, good source of sugar is no sugar. I mean, sugar is very bad. Of course, in small quantities is fine, but it's a good. I mean, that's again to the topic of the binging that I have to get to. I wanted to free myself of the dependency on sugar, and that's why I got into the binge eating thing. But if you want to substitute sugar with something, stevia and erythritol are the two that are absolutely harmless, and then they don't do anything. Especially erythritol just passes through your body and just goes away. It doesn't have any calories or glycemic index, or it doesn't affect insulin, anything like that. Stevia, sometimes it does affect insulin just a tiny little bit, and some people does not. So stevia kind of depends on the person. But for the most part, if it's a very, very good stevia, you have nothing to worry about. It does not have any calories anyway, but you have to get it along with erythritol, or if it's on its own. We have a liquid stevia here in Bulgaria that contains vitamin C and a bit of potassium, which is amazing. It doesn't contain any calories, again, of course, because vitamin C and potassium also do not have any calories. But they use those two elements to kind of stabilize it in some kind of a way. But it's perfectly natural and all of that. It's not the same as sugar in terms of sweetness. It does have a bit of a, not a bitter aftertaste, because bad stevia has a bitter aftertaste, but it does have that a bit because the stevia itself, it's a plant, it's a herb. The plant itself has this bitter aftertaste, so they can't completely remove it. Um, but it's good for making different pastries. Even I cook with it, I put it in my coffee. Nowadays I got used to without it, because I kind of prefer the coffee without it, because when it's not the same type of sweetness that sugar is, I just prefer to leave it out altogether. You know, sometimes when you mix it with erythritol, it really balances the taste, so it's kind of like sugar. But nothing really can replace the taste of sugar. But that's pretty close, and you do know that you don't do anything to your body, and your pancreas does not have to work overtime to process all that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to answer about sugar. Okay. Bananas and beans. Well, whatever you do, that's why I recommend getting My Fitness Pal, because whatever you do, guys, you have to have enough protein in your diet. You have to have above, like, every person is different. I have to have personally 100 and something grams of protein, 110 minimum, so I can make muscle mass and sustain it and to feel stronger and better. Anything below 100, especially for a guy, it's absurd, even if you're not working out, but why not? Just go and work out. Okay, so yeah, berries, different types of berries like strawberries and other types are very low in calorie, and they are very low on the glycemic index. So you can eat a lot of them, and they're really very low in calories and carbs. So they're good. They're really good. Yeah, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, the American red berry is also very good. We eat it here. I eat it dry as well. It's pretty good. Okay. But just go and get My Fitness Pal. You're gonna enter your information, your height, weight, your goal. It's gonna calculate how many calories you should eat. Then in goals, you have to, you know, pick how many percentages of protein, carbs, and fat during the day. And the winning formula here is to make like protein almost the same as carb, maybe carb a bit higher, but you try to push the protein highest as possible, and then carbs a bit higher, and then the fat as low as possible. The total of all of those three have to make 100%. So My Fitness Pal is going to tell you something is not accurate, but just by principle, you just have to make the carbs a bit higher than the protein. And yeah, so first carbs, then protein, then fat. That's how it should be. So the ratio, it depends on your, you know, weight and goal, but you have to go by that principle. And carbs should be a bit higher than protein, just because the two balance themselves out. If you have enough carbs but not too much, it can help the protein also work better with you and keep you stronger, keep you more satiated. If you have too low carbs, that can make you feel weaker during the day, make you feel weaker with your workouts as well. But not keeping it too high, because that's going to mean that your pancreas is going to work overtime to process all of that carb, and it's going to be too much, and you're just going to start as fat. So make it so that the protein is just a bit lower than the carb, and the fat is just the lowest possible, because when fat acts with carb, you know, the carb gets, I mean, the carb is blocking the fat. So that's a bummer, because basically the fat is very easy to process otherwise, but when you get carbs there, the carbs becomes the priority for the body to process first, and sometimes it just does not get to the fat. So yeah, it's bad. It's a long topic. It's about the keto dieting as well, but when you're not doing keto, and I'm not recommending keto at all, because that is what got me in this mess in the first place with the binge eating. Just you know, just do this ratio in My Fitness Pal, and it's free freaking software. Yeah, bananas is not the most optimal bodybuilding fruit, that's for sure. It has so much. Yeah, it's. I forgot the word in English, but yeah, it's too much. Most fitness foods are the berries. Sorry, just checking on my bunny. Wow, wow. Yeah, the ridiculous juice fest. Lemon on water is a good idea. Yeah, yeah, I do that sometimes. But just one raisin of lemon may not break your fast. But you do not squeeze it in because it will break your fast. It has too much carb. But yeah, it's a very good idea. Alex, hello. I'm not sure what that means. You're speaking in Russian, right? You mean that you watch me regularly, but you never wrote before? Let me know. Yeah, apple cider vinegar is very good on an empty stomach. Also does not break fast, does not contain any calories or anything. Lemon is not the same though, as I said. Yeah, but you have to like buy a bio apple cider vinegar if you want to do that. I used to do that. It helps with hunger in the mornings. Alkane water, if you have this water, also helps with the hunger. Hi, Strawberry. Hi. So let me now, because I'm ranting for 1 hour and didn't get to the main topic. Um, so, so guys, how did I get to the binge eating that I got after New Year's? Well, first, guys, I wanted to get really lean, and I kind of didn't want to wait. I just want to achieve best possible physique like faster, and I already had a great physique, and I can see my definition on the stomach and all of that, and of course definition here. You can't see it right now because of all the lights, as I usually say. You can see that I have muscles, but you can't see all the definition, which believe me, it's a lot if you've seen my Instagram. It's just that this is too bright of a light. It's not a fitness light. But I did want to get to a very lean shape after New Year's. I ate, more because it's New Year's. I didn't really track that strictly, and it was a mistake, definitely. I just wanted to, you know, let loose, so to speak. Not let loose myself, like let go of myself. No, but I just wanted to eat a lot of stuff. I was stressed out. I had problems at work, and this time it was getting like too overwhelming. A lot of changes have happened to me, and I just couldn't. I mean, I did process it, everything, because I'm very good at that, but it is overwhelming. I mean, the fact that I can process something that's happening to me and I can very clearly like put it somewhere in a category or something else and deal with it, so to speak, does not mean that it's not overwhelming for me. So I'm trying to make it not as overwhelming, but that's also overwhelming in a way. So a lot of things that are, got on top of each other happened to me, and I decided to try keto. So what is happening when you're having all those problems in your life, so to say, problems, all those overwhelming stuff, and you also try to change your diet completely, which requires a lot of focus and knowledge and willpower and stress. Yeah, it's going to be stressful when you're trying to do something so drastically different. And I've heard all about the benefits of keto. I did talk about keto in my previous videos, that about fitness and health, and I kind of praised it because it does have very very good health benefits. But it turned out, guys, that it has health benefits mostly for people that are not really healthy to begin with. For people that have hormonal problems, it's really good. For people that have Hashimoto, it's also a hormonal disorder. um, you know, yeah, pretty severe. people that have diabetes or pre-diabetic, state. So it's very beneficial for people that already have some kind of a problem. And a lot of people do it to get shredded, so to speak, leaner quickly. But it's another thing to do it when you're a girl. And I personally never had any problems with my hormones ever. It's a personal thing, but I have to touch upon it. So I never had any problems with my hormones whatsoever. I never had, my cycle to be irregular or anything like that. But yeah, after keto, I screw myself up. So hi to I'm starting to lose my voice for talking so loud for 1 hour. Hi I to sorry, Griffin. You're Russian. Well, hi, I'm from Bulgaria or from Russia, so we do have common roots, you can say. You can just talk to me in English. I really understand English better than Russian, although it's close to Bulgarian, but not enough close. Okay, guys. So continuing, I love to talk to you directly, but you know that it's very important to get my thought out because we're going to be here all freaking evening. So guys, I started keto. I got very quick results with it because again, keto is very quick results. I brought my carbs to like 30 grams a day, and I kept my fats high and I kept my protein somewhere in the middle, which is basically what you do when you're on a full-on keto diet. And I started learning all of those recipes that are fully keto based, posting them on Facebook. I made my own recipes. I learned so much stuff about how to make bread without any regular wheat flour. I mean, eating without carbs basically. So I started eating like one chocolate here and there because it's like 5 grams, and I could fit into that 30 grams, and that became like a huge pain because I mean, from one side, yes, you're eating cake and a lot of other stuff that are made with stuff that are made from fat and protein, so you're getting very satiated and you feel, yeah, you're not feeling that fine at the beginning because you're used to with carbs. So with the first few days of keto, you feel okay. But then because you don't have any carbs, your glucose gets completely depleted. First, from your body, from your stomach, not from your stomach, from your liver. And then it gets depleted from your muscles. And guys, when that happens, I mean, you see a very quick result. You see your definition. I'm like, whoa, what the cool stomach. But then when it gets depleted from your legs, from your from your freaking muscles, it hurts. And you feel like you're a grandma because you can't climb a freaking stairs. You just can't. You're like, I'm taking the subway and going up the stairs, and I'm like, you know, because it's very hard to describe the feeling, but you feel like you don't have anything in your legs to support you. You feel like your legs are burning inside. You feel like you don't have any like blood in your muscles and everything's super dry. That is how you feel. It's very hard to describe, but I take it at more. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that is how you feel when you're old. I'm not sure. But it feels terrible because you look like this athletic monster of a being. I mean, monster in a good way, of course. You look like this athletic goddess and all of that. And you're like, yeah, and you can see everything, but you feel like crap. And that is what keto does to you. And you can look the same way and not do keto, but it just takes longer. You can feel absolutely awesome and like a beast and athletic and functional and not be on keto. But it's just that the keto is going to bring you that here kind of a state, shape, You can call it condition. Yes, condition is the best possible way to put it. You're going to look physically great, but you're going to feel like crap, like subhuman. Yeah. So again, I tried to get used to all of those feelings. It was not comfortable at all. And then that started to build up. I mean, like I said, I made very good pastries without any carbs in them. One piece of a cake like had, you can say, 9 grams of carbs in it, and I could eat like two of those, and then I could eat something else, so it becomes like 30 grams a day. But everything that's below like 90 grams of carbs, after a few days, just becomes just you feel like you're heavy. You're getting skinnier and lighter, but you feel like you're heavy. Again, it's so hard to describe it. It's terrible feeling. It's terrible. I don't wish that on anyone, really. And again, so even if you can say like, okay, I look awesome, even if you can exist that way, which you can't exist that way, just too brutal. You don't feel like yourself anymore. But let's say even if you can overcome that, then came the um, terrible hormonal problems that I never expected. So I didn't get under a weight, which is going to, make the body lose the cycle. I didn't get to underweight. I was not underweight. I was very lean and muscular. I was not underweight. I was 50, like 52 kilos, I think. And before that, I was also 52 kilos, but now I was leaner. I had more muscles, so to speak. So my body weight did not change that much. It's just getting leaner and more shredded, so to speak. But my hormones did change, because when you restrict carbs, especially with women, it just doesn't work. Like the body is like, what are you doing to me? Like, screw you. And it thinks that something is terribly wrong, and just my cycle stopped. And I didn't have a cycle for a month. And I was very worried. I was very worried because that never ever happened to me. I have very irregular cycle. It's like, every 28 days it's there. It's fine. But I started feel so different. I did not get any libido, almost any, and I'm not usually like that. I don't want to get again to my personal life. I'm not going to, but at least I have to tell you this much, so you know what huge effect that had on me. So I'm usually not a person that does not have a libido. I'm the opposite. I have a lot of it, you know, and yeah. So I mean, I was active, so it's not like I stopped doing anything. On the contrary, I was so worried, because I was worried that I'm pregnant or something. And I'm like, how did that happen? That's not possible to happen, because careful and everything is great. So how could this happen? No, I'm not pregnant. And then I had to do like 3 tests different days, so I can be sure that I'm for sure like not at all pregnant. And gosh, that was so terrible. I mean, so stressful for me. And then the next month, it got late, but it came. And then the next month, it came like almost perfectly. And then the next month, it came perfectly. So it started to be a perfectly irregular again. And everything else, like my boobs getting bigger, 1 week before it came, and harder and painful. And that's normal. So everything came back as issues that I usually have before a cycle, that are not actually issues. It's just uncomfortable. But it's the normal stuff, basically. But that happened after I stopped the keto. So once I noticed all of those things, once I decided to just stop doing that and just start eating carbs again, and just doing the fasting, because I was doing the fasting and I was doing the keto at the same time, which again you can do. I mean, you can do fasting in any type of a way of eating, but it's just that with keto, it's it's double. It's double the effect, because keto gets you to ketosis, and fasting gets you also to ketosis. But when they're together, it's much faster. And ketosis is again the process where your body takes only from your fat storage and does not burn any muscle. Just takes from the fat storage, becomes fat adapted and can basically use fat for energy anytime, and you have consistent energy throughout the day, but you just feel like crap where if you're just fasting and eating all the three, you know, types of food, micronutrients, you feel fine and you're still getting leaner, just slower. So that after that, after I got my cycle back, I started to eat like a lot. I tried to track everything, but at the company that I worked, we had a lot of eating. I mean, a lot of catering, some events, and even though I took from this and took from that, took from this, I was like, I just can't stop eating. So the feeling of binge eating, high blockage, the feeling of binge eating is very hard to I mean, it's not hard to describe it, but it's hard to imagine if you never had this before. So you're just eating uncontrollably. You're like, stuffing your face, not in that manner, but you're eating and you're like, okay, I ate, I'm fine. Like 2 seconds later, you're like, more food, and you feel bad because you're full, you're already full, but you want to eat more and more, and you feel bad and worse, and you feel like you're gonna explode, and you can't stop eating. So it's just a mental state that if you haven't not gone through it, it's hard to relate to it. But my mom used to tell me like, well, if I'm stressed out, I don't feel like eating, and I used to be this way. But now something switched. After the keto, something switched, and I become like the Americans. I don't want to say anything about you guys. I love you guys, but a lot of those eating disorders like binge eating became famous from you guys because you experience just so much stress in your life that when it becomes overwhelming, stuff happens. And with my life, a lot of changes, work, and then the top of it was a different diet, and I had this stress, and I started eating everything because I was restricting also carbs for so long, for like maybe 3 months or 2 months, I'm not sure. And then when I saw all of that amazing food, I was just like, you know. And to compensate for that, I'm going to return to your comments, but I have to finish with this because it's very important. To compensate for the food that I was eating like 25,000, not 25,000, 250, and so I'm just going to say the normal way, 2,500 calories a day, around that, which is so high for my weight and height. But to compensate for that, I was training like crazy, like training and training and training, and I was, you know, looking bigger and bigger and bigger because I was putting muscle very quickly because I was training like 3 hours, 4 hours a day. I was on vacation as well at some point, especially after New Year's, and I even trained on New Year's Day for like 2 and something hours because I ate so much on New Year's. So after all of that, I did gain muscle, which was great, but I also, of course, did gain fat. So the total amount of everything that I did to myself as gain was, yeah, 5 kilos. I gained 5 kilos, which is like 10 pounds. Very stressful, guys, because I was no longer able to see my definition of my stomach. My waist got, wider. I still looked feminine and okay, and because it's not, freaking like astronomically much, I still had the athletic physique. Overall, you can see that I work out, but everything got fuller and bigger, and my boobs got through here, and I'm like, it just can't, my face started to get a bit, more filled up, and my cheekbones kind of start to disappear, and I'm like, nope, no. I have to stop. And I did realize what was happening to me, guys, but it's kind of like the feeling of being trapped in your own body. You're like doing something, you know that you have to stop, but you just can't. And when you realize what you're doing to your own body, because you're so aware, because you have so much knowledge, I mean, in my case, what I'm actually doing to myself, that starts to really work. And you start to do little things here and there to control yourself. Like, for instance, you look at the plate, but I'm not going to take more food. It's there. I'm just not going to do that right now. but you have these cravings and that urges, and you just look for substitutes. So then I started to drink like 0 calories sports drink, like isotope drinks. They helped. The zero cola that I was as I was telling you about, the green cola, really beneficial. So I started to think to drink other things, or to eat other things that are less calories, so I can have my things. Like, I started to come up with recipes that have carbs in them, but it's just lower, and the protein is higher, and the calories are fewer. So I started doing like little steps here and there, and just changing what I ate, trying to fast, in a better way. I mean, because sometimes I would just drink something that it was not supposed to be there. I mean, it had a bit of calories, and I was doing that because when you allow yourself just small things, not to freak out, not to go into that mind state, it's still good. I mean, you can't just stop everything and just be awesome again like you were a few months ago. You just can't do that. You have to do that little by little. You know, this just appeared out of nowhere. You have to do things little by little, and to not overwhelm again yourself with a sudden change and get back to normal. You can't get back to normal that fast, and you certainly should not do it. So it is a struggle, yes, Ivy. It is a mental struggle, and in order to succeed with that struggle, in order to win the fight, and overall win the war, you have to take small steps to achieve that. Although you're disgusted with yourself, although you feel bad physically and mentally, you have to give yourself a break, because you have to realize that you did went through, you know, a lot of things that led you to try this particular diet, and it failed miserably. But the positive things are that you did learn a lot of positive things. I mean, you did learn a lot about yourself, and again, your own body, how it worked. You didn't mess it up entirely because you stopped on time. And well, you did learn a valuable lesson from all of this. And then to get back to normal, we have to take one step at a time in order to succeed, and not just go freak out again. So the key is, guys, do not overwhelm yourself, and take smaller steps, because each step is going to lead you to the next step. It's just that when you overwhelm yourself and you try to be so many things at once without taking the time to spend enough time with each and every step, you're gonna fail miserably. So yeah, but it was really a wake-up call for me, that this can happen to anyone if life does something to you that you never experienced before. It can happen, although it was not part of your nature, it was not part of your way of anything, but all of a sudden it can happen. Just definitely do not take very severe diet changes, and very severe, not only, I mean, do not change your diet like from one day to the other so drastically, especially when you're in those circumstances of stress, because you're just going to put more stress on it, and then something's gonna break out that you're not prepared for. But I was really happy that I'm not pregnant. Goodness sakes. Yeah, because for your cycle to stop like this, it's like, you know. So yeah, it's not like that Xena case where, again, Xena reference, Xena, where she was like pregnant out of nowhere. So yeah. But anyway, guys, so that was my binge eating, and I overcame it, because I started to apply the things that I knew little by little, and over time I got used to not be as hungry, because I really got this extreme hunger, which brings me to the topic of Stephanie, that I'm going to talk about Stephanie in a bit. So extreme hunger, you're always hungry, and you always want more and more and more, but that's just the response from your body, because you haven't been feeding it what it wanted to be fitted with. So that is what happens. But when you do the fasting, the body does not feel that you're restricting it, so it's just perfectly fine. And when you pick up weights and you actually lift weights when you're fasting, you stop the hunger immediately when you lift weights, because your glucose that you have left gets shut into your muscles. And kind of, I don't know that exactly how that is happening, but it definitely does something to the hormones in your stomach when you're lifting weights, so it stops the hunger right away. And you feel perfectly fine with energy because you initiated this glucose to be put where it's supposed to be. And also, that is the way that I gained muscle, because whatever I ate, because it was so much plus, my calories were such a surplus that at least when I worked out that severely, for so much time during the day or evening, I mean, I got to program my body to put whatever it could into muscle. I mean, to create muscle tissue as much as possible. So all of the way that I gained to not be fat. Of course, you're going to gain fat because the body cannot create as much as muscle. If it could, we all be like, but but it does programs your body to put as much effort into the muscle and take effort. Not store it as fat. Now I'm going to get to your comments because they're super a lot now. Super a lot. I'm going to go to the topic of Stephanie, and her video is going to be linked down below so you can know what I'm talking about. But of course, I'm going to do a quick sum up of what she's talking about and what is the issue here, what I think about her way of doing things. Whew. So, Shodri, hi to you. A few months ago, I was 102 kilograms. Now I'm 90 kilograms and wondering how to get to like 86 kilograms with balanced diet. Well, Shodri, I'm sorry, but you have to go back and watch the rest of the stream because I explained everything you need to know about MyFitnessPal and how to make your macro ratio. And you're super young, so do not be that example of a super young guy that gets fat because they have no idea what they eat, why to eat it, and don't have any eating culture and exercise culture basically, and they get fat super easy for like no reason. It looks like no reason, but it's what you're doing to your body. Yeah, trial and error does teach you stuff. Absolutely, Diego. Well, of course, Rodri, your cardio level is going to improve through time. It's going to improve anyways. You don't know what heavy is? Well, if you're on keto, you'll know. Even if you're super light, you're going to feel like you're 200 kilograms. It's just what keto does to you. Well, again, Shodri, it's all about the macros. Just please, I can't talk about the same things all over again. I lose my voice. I have to get to the next topic. Just go back, watch the stream from the beginning. Everything that I say, it's like gold. So it's literally based on a lot of experience, and it's absolute science. It's proven. So just go and do that. You're gonna have results. Yeah, Ivy, well, it happens. That's why I changed my job. Now I feel better. When sorry about that, guys, but I really need to do this. I kind of have a bit of a muscle soreness, but it's normal for me. But whenever you feel uncomfortable in your workplace and you feel like you deserve better, you just find another job. You just chase your goals, just go and have interviews with other companies. Like go see how other companies do things. Don't be like stuck into your own little box of misery and be like, I'm not treated well here. Well, if you're not, just get out, go and find something else. Yeah, Diego, thank you too. Yeah, I want to help people out. I did help people out a lot of times. I just want to continue doing that. Thanks, Greek, Greek Prime. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Small steps do not just bring additional stress on your head. Because you got too fat, too out of shape, and try to get in shape right away. It cannot happen right away. Again, it's a marathon. It's not a race. So treat it like a marathon. Treat it like a learning process, a healing process, and conditioning yourself to be better. And that is reprogramming yourself, your thinking, your body, so your mental state, your physical state. So that's gonna take time. You're not going to, do not start to prepare your beach body from now till the next month. It's going to be next year or even next year sometimes, depending on from what point you're starting. Yeah, when it happens, you can do it quickly, but it's not as healthy, and you it's just risky. Just don't do it. So that's why you never should get into such fat of a state, because then your desire is going to be to get fitter quicker, but the fatter you get, the worse your metabolism gets, the more weight you have to lose, and the more damage you did to your organs as well. So don't forget that you also have visceral fat, that's the fat that's around the organs, and a lot of guys, for instance, they put a lot there quickly. That's why they're more conditioned to heart disease and diabetes than women. They process the sugar differently, and they get fat, get more visceral fat between the organs, which is the worst type of fat. So you have to be aware of that too. And sometimes you can look like skinny fat on the inside, not be overweight, but just skinny fat, that much, not that much in shape, you can say. And not be aware of how much visceral fat you actually have inside. So that's another thing to consider. I bought Huawei body fat scale um, 2 weeks ago, and so far it's pretty good. It looks pretty accurate. It tells me my body fat percentage, BMI, even protein in the body for some reason, bone density, muscle mass, of course, water, fat. Did I said fat? And even your daily energy expenditure, which is the amount of calories that you burn if you're not doing anything. Which again, by the way, your daily energy expenditure can be much improved upon if you just get up and do things. Like for instance, you're 30 minutes on the desk, you get up, you move around, you do a few push-ups. I bring my resistance bands at work and I work out with them a lot of times. Sometimes I don't do that because I'm too busy, but I'm trying to do that. My colleagues think that it's weird, but it's actually not. I'm actually improving my metabolism throughout the day. So when I get back down and sit on my chair again to work, I'm going to have faster metabolism, a lot faster, and it's going to process the food and going to put it in the muscle and going to produce energy much better than if I were to continue sitting and not do that, getting up and fast workout. So your daily energy expenditure, it's depending on you, basically your basic metabolic rate, and you can keep it elevated throughout the day just by doing more often movements than not. um, Definitely 10,000 steps a day, or at least 8,000 steps a day. If you do that, that's great. But it's not only to do a certain amount of exercise or whatever activeness that you do at once. Just do not be sitting all day on the desk and then go work out, but try to do like getting up, moving around, doing something, even if you have to hide from your colleagues, do it somewhere else, but just do some kind of a muscle exercise, push up, dips, whatever you can do. You can do dips at the office, you can do push-ups in the office, even on the desk. You don't need to be on the ground. And if you have elastic bands and resistant bands, you can bring them everywhere. and you can do so many exercise with them. So you can do so many things for like 5 minutes occasionally, and when you get back home you already have a pump on your biceps because you already done so much things. So that's my advice to improve your metabolism and daily energy expenditure, because even when you are check all of the calories for today and you have not, went above them, you can still not lose weight if your daily calorie energy, sorry, expenditure is very, very freaking low, because you were sedentary the whole day. You're just making your body not do anything. I mean, your body thinks that you're not doing anything because you're not, and it just stops. The metabolism just slows everything down because it doesn't need to work. You're not giving it the reason to work. So everything that your body does, it does it because there's a reason for it, because you're programmed to do it. So if you're programmed to burn fat by doing more movements, if you're making it more active, the body is going to be like, she or he is more active, then I need to expend more calories. I mean, to burn more calories because I need to make energy, because this person is doing so many things. He's active. I have to keep sustaining that, keep giving him the energy that he needs. When you work out, you're doing this, with weights. The muscles feel tension, and it tells the body that, oh, I need to make this muscle bigger so it can sustain that load. So everything has a reason, and the body is pretty damn simple in that way. I mean, it looks like super complicated, but it's actually simple principles that create this amazing system. I mean, your body. And just to know how to work with that, it's gonna really help your body work for you and not against you. So that's again another thing before I get to Stephanie. Yeah, when I used to work in my previous building, it's a 20 stores building, so I used to get up and down the stairs every day. Sometimes even 3 times a day, which, wow, my legs felt that. It was very hard to get, I mean, it's not hard, but it's a big tension on the legs to get 20 stores up and 20 stores down. Sometimes even the getting down is like tough on your knees, but if you know how to, step without actually loading the knees, is very good. And that's control, muscle control and awareness of your body. And if you develop your muscles on your whatever it is place, you get aware of those muscles. You feel them individually almost, and you can not only flex them, but you can control your movements in the way that is going to prevent you from injuries. So again, awareness, knowledge, that's it. Yeah, so many people that go to the elevator or the escalator or whatever it is I've seen, and I always take the stairs, even though if the subway, for instance, has both stairs and escalator, I'm going to take the stairs every time. Unless I'm with somebody else that's too lazy and I have to go with them because we're obviously going somewhere together, then I have no choice probably, but I'm going to compensate with that later. Again, so let me now get finally, so we can finish with this long lecture, to what Stephanie did. So Stephanie, I totally not sure how to pronounce her name at the moment. I don't know why. Stephanie Buttermore or Baltimore. Not sure. I'm sorry about that, really. So she, again, as I said, is a famous fitness YouTuber, a bodybuilder, a natural bodybuilder for women, and she's also the girlfriend of Jeff Nippert, which is again a pro bodybuilder that is natural. He really is natural. Like, it's no joke. He really is, and you can say it because just look at him. He's natural. That's a long topic again. How to recognize who is and who is. I already talked about this in other videos. So, what is her problem? She got through this very severe dieting because she's a bodybuilder and she wanted to get on stage. So she was eating like 1800 calories, which is extremely low. She got super shredded, And she was doing that for years. So all of a sudden, she developed, and not all of a sudden, I don't think so. I mean, she had that kind of before, but after she got into all of that restricting way of eating, she got like even more hungry. So she developed this literally a huge hunger that's cannot be sorry about that, satiated. So she could eat, I mean, she wants to eat so many things, she just can't stop. So that's basically like a binge eating. But the difference is that when I was binge eating, I was feeling full right away because my stomach is really small and I don't feel really that hunger. But although you feel full, you just keep eating because you just can't stop. It's like a compulsive, you know, thing to feel. So yeah, but in her case, she's keep eating, and like nothing happens. Like she does not feel satiated. She does feel a lot of hunger. So now she decided to eat unlimited amounts of calories. She kind of started with 2,000 and something, as far as I remember, uh, got to 4,000 and even maybe above that. She does not want to track calories anymore, and she just wants to see where that's gonna lead so she can basically heal herself from that extreme hunger. And so far, she gained a lot of weight. She does not look like herself, if you ask me anymore, but that's a part of the process. So that's a different problem from mine, but it's similar. It's very similar. So what do I think about how she's doing things? Because she is going to gain a lot of weight. She did also had her period stop, but in her ways it was different because she got into very low body fat percentage, and when women get into that very low, when you can see your veins like guys do, that's super dangerous for a woman. I never got to that stage, never that peeled, never. um that's lean stage lean, is not normal lean. So she basically looked like a muscular skeleton, literally. You can see the pictures. So yeah. So now she's the total opposite of that. Oh my god. I'm not sure how much she gained. I have to check the video again. That's why I linked it down below, but she gained a lot. And so, what is going to happen in this case? She's going to destroy her body, which she's already has done. It's not that she cannot go back, but if she continues to gain weight, she's probably gonna get stretch marks and destroy her skin, and it's not going to be very hard to recover. And stretch marks usually do not get fixed, or get fixed with a lot of, well, maybe a red light will help, but I'm not sure about that. So yeah, the point is she right to do this or is she not right? Like, from one hand, I do think that to get that cured, I mean, first, the reason for that to happen to her was that she was getting on super low calories for too long, and she got underweight, and she got such a low body fat percentage that can no longer sustain her hormones properly. And that triggered this thing, because it's a female body as well, and that triggers this extreme hunger because the body wants to gain weight, especially the female body, because the female body always have that in mind, that it has to get pregnant. So it's just the natural physiology of things. So the female body always tries to hold on to that fat because it's beneficial fat. It's gonna make the woman more resistant to, well, basically all the terrible carriage of the baby. I mean, it's going to help her survive, basically, because she's going to have this additional storage of food in the form of fat. And so the body screws you in this way and gains fat. But to gain fat, she has to be hungry, so it makes her hungry. And that needs to be resetted. So the way that she can do that is what she's doing right now. She's just eating until she feels that she's no longer hungry, and then she eats again when she's hungry. So she's doing something like intuitive eating. But when you do intuitive eating when you're super hungry, you're going to eat like a guy, and not a small guy. You're going to eat like a big guy. So she's basically eating like two men, right now. So that's why she's so rapidly gaining weight, and the body does want that, so it can balance all the hormones out, and she does think that she's going to stop gaining weight after a while. Yeah, if I mean her hunger is at a particular level, and she's eating at that particular level, which means that on a daily basis she does eat the same or very similar amount of calories, let's say for something 4,000 something. So if she keeps doing that, she's going to gain more and more and more until the body compensates for everything that she did to herself. Then she's going to stop. But that time she's already, I mean, she's already overweight. She's going to be overweight. So that's not good. I mean, I really I'm really conflicted on this matter because first, I don't have experience with this exact problem, so it's very hard for me to judge it, so to speak. From the other hand, because I also watched some research and doctors and all of that, it's not the best way. It's a healing process, and that healing process is just not going to be pretty at all. So there's other girls that I saw that had to go through similar things like that, and they did manage to find a better weight. I mean, a normal weight. After a while, they lost the weight, they gained the weight, they lost the weight. There's like a period of adapting till it finally gets to a point where she's healthy, she looks good, and she's not fat at the same time. Although all those girls that I saw, they didn't really get to a fitness shape, like super good body kind of a thing, but maybe she can do it. So that's why I'm conflicted. I'm not sure if she can go back to being fit and not super skinny, but still fit and with the enough leanness. So yeah, that's why I'm not sure. And right now, I'm really feeling for her because right now she's really like sad and crying because she's watching her body basically become fat within days, and she was just this fitness model just like a few minutes ago. you know it's very, very, very bad mentally, but she also know that she has to go through it so the body can be fixed. I mean, the hormones can be fixed, the way that body thinks about food and her relationship with food has to be fixed. So it's not going to be pretty, but yeah, maybe that's the way. Maybe that's the way. The other way will be if she ate like a bit more here and there, um, and she's fasting also. I'm not sure if now she's fasting, but she does intermittent fasting usually. So maybe that's like another way to eat here and there more, and then other days just compensate and just eat here and there more, compensate. Other days eat less, and then overall calories of the week are going to be like okay. But I'm not sure because again, I never had this problem before exactly like hers, dealing with this extreme hunger. So I don't know if she can manage it, just like put a veil on it and not really getting through it. I mean, not really being all in like she says. It's just yeah, it's really one extreme to the other. I'm not sure that's the best thing to do. Not sure that I'm always like, there's always better way, there's always better way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right about that, but in this case I have no I can only like imagine what is the better way. It's very easy to talk about something when you haven't gone through it, and I have the same problem with everybody else that don't know me, don't know what I went through, my knowledge, my experience, and they just want to talk when they have not achieved anything with their bodies. But in this case, it's really controversial the way that she's doing it. But she is documenting all of it, so we can see it, and maybe we will see her, get at the end of the tunnel with better results and actually being fit again. When she cures herself of this extreme hunger, again, the girls that I watched, they said that they did manage to do that. So yeah, as long as you can get into shape and make make your body control itself and not have these issues, these feelings of eating like an animal and wanting to eat like an animal, craving everything. That's going to be good, because it really can lead to terrible obsessions and mental problems if you don't get a hold of it. And she did try to do that, so at least I have to commend her for that, because she is a fitness personality, and to destroy your physique in such a short period of time just to see if she can heal, see if she can fix herself, no matter how the audience feels about how she looks right now. She just has to try it, or she just has to do it. I'm just worried that she's going to get so much damage on her body, but maybe that's the only way, really. Again, I think that there might be a better way, but if there is, we don't know it yet. And in order to find it out, I mean, to find out what that better way might be, you just have to go through the trial and error, like Diego also, pointed out. So maybe that's the best way at the moment, because we don't know better. But then after she gets through that, and other people gets also through that, maybe then we're going to find a better way to manage extreme hunger if somebody has that, and see how we can deal with that without destroying your physique, or just gaining a few pounds, but not to the point where you're a totally different person. So that is it basically, guys. I'm going to read your comments and finish with this. That's great, Diego. You love using stairs. That's great. Yeah, super difficult. So to end the stream, guys, I would advise that first, again, watch it from the beginning. If you want to lose weight, just do the carbs, fats, and protein ratio that I've mentioned. A bit more carbs, then a bit lower than that protein, and the lowest should be fat. Use MyFitnessPal because it has database for all the foods. Even if you're like me in Bulgaria, there's a database for Bulgarian foods. I personally contributed to MyFitnessPal, entering a lot of foods that were not in the database. You just scan the barcode, like of a jam, for instance. You take a jam of strawberries or whatever, just scan the barcode, and then you put all the information that are per 100 grams, and and you have it. And then when you measure it with the scale, you know how many you eat, and so you just put on the grams in MyFitnessPal, and it shows you how many calories that has, how many carbs that has, how many everything that is in that it has. So it's a great tool. It just must have, and it's gonna bring you results. And the other thing that you're gonna need if you're really serious about this, it's something like this: Fitbit, a fitness watch. I had Garmin, I had other before. They were total crap. This, you know it if you watched me before. This is Samsung Gear Fit 2 Pro. It's not the latest anymore, unfortunately. There's a Fit Me or Fit what, I forgot. I really want to get it. For now I can't. It's very expensive, 400 level. But the battery is better there. The functions are pretty much the same, but it should be faster and better than this. This has a bit of issues sometimes, but it really gets your daily energy expenditure right, your pose, your calories for the day, your steps, and it connects with MyFitnessPal, so MyFitnessPal could know how many steps you did for the day, how many calories you've spent, and calculates that. It has that in mind, because when you eat in like 200 calories, for instance, more, if you were active enough and you spent 200 calories more, it's going to add those calories to MyFitnessPal, and you will know that you're no longer in a plus, you're in a you're in the middle, or even better, you're in the green zone, which means that you have more calories to spend, which even if you don't, like, even if you're maybe if you're like super hungry, yeah, but otherwise no, just keep it in the green zone. And it's just perfect, it's water resistant, and so on. So but it really works. I tested it for like 2 years now. It's perfect. It gives me what I need to make everything calculate perfectly to a T. And it also has other apps that you can install on it, and also has the Samsung apps, that you can install on it, the Google also. And you can like pick exercises, like for instance, if you're doing treadmill running like I am, just pick treadmill. If you're doing, you know even hiking on the mountain, just pick that. If you're doing weightlifting, just pick that, and it's going to calculate the calories that you spend during the workout. If you stop and do nothing for a minute, it says pause. It pauses itself. You can pause it manually if you like. So this is must have. I mean, you're going to lose weight, achieve good results without it, but this is literally what is going to give you a huge perspective of what the heck you're doing. It's not enough to just keep your phone into your pocket. Believe me, it's not the same. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna sleep. I'm going to pass out any minute. So that is it. I gave you the best information that I could possibly give you. I updated you on the keto because before I really praised it, because yeah, it really works, but not in the long run, not with the hormones. Some people do really, have great results for the long run, but I do think that they're just different. Everybody is different, so you have to try for yourself, really. But I really don't think it's good for women that are okay with their health and they're really optimized with the way that they're eating, so they don't need to change that in such a drastic way. That's it. Yeah, Ivy. Yeah. Yeah, so again, guys, I hope that I helped. And I hope that everybody that are not training currently and do not take their health into consideration, and they think that, fries here and there are okay. I would say that no, they're not. I mean, yes, here and there they're okay, but it depends on what state of losing weight you are. If you're like in my state, which I'm basically almost in perfect shape now, I almost reached that. So in that, if I want to be better, I have to skip the fries, skip the additional calories, as much as humanly freaking possible. I have to be more strict when I get to that low point, because it's the last mile. And then I just have to adjust to sustain that, if I want to sustain or if I want to go lower. For instance, what I eat in a day, because you probably want to know that. I every day I eat at 12. This is just how my work schedule and everything works. I eat at 12 for the first time. I break the fast then. And if you think about it, the word breakfast, it just means break fast. So that's also another important thing, that um, break fast does mean that you're just starting to eat. You're just starting the fasting process. You're breaking the fasting process and you're starting the eating process. So your first meal of the day, it's breakfast. It's break fast. It's what breaks the fast. So no matter when you eat, when you start eating, it's still breakfast. So if I eat at 12 like I am, I'm not skipping breakfast. I'm just having my breakfast at 12. And my breakfast, like I wanted to tell you guys, is usually one piece of meat. That could be like a horse meat, because we do have that in Bulgaria. It's very, very nutritious, extremely awesome. And or turkey, steak, or chicken steak. So I always eat some kind of a meat with plain salad, which is like a bit of tomatoes with celery, not celery, just green salad basically, that is not seasoned in any kind of a way. Just really good for the veggies to be processed with some kind of a fat, but that fat comes from the meat, so you don't need to season it additionally at all. It's not the same as taste. It's plain, but it's good enough for me. I got used to it very quickly. You could always put vinegar on it, but I just don't do it. I just don't mind and don't have the time. Just eat it up and start to walk. So what I'm doing is just walk for an hour or almost an hour. I'm eating for like 10 minutes and walk for an hour, sometimes 20, because I'm the place that I'm eating, and so many people go there. But if you're even plant-based, you just try to get your protein somehow. So I'm just trying to get my protein in. That's the priority always. The priority is to get your protein in. Most important thing. The protein in. So eating always the steak, I'm eating always the salad to compensate, to give me more something else, to have my veggies. Then I go walk. Then I have a protein bar that I either made myself or I bought. Or I have a nut bar, which has a lot more, carbs in it, but it's no problem if I get into my carb range, as long as it gives me a lot of energy and I'm not that hungry. But I try to have protein bars instead of nut bar. Then I drink coffee with milk. Before that, I drink pure coffee, but when I'm in my eating window, I'm going to drink coffee with milk because that's my favorite. I put a bit of a like cocoa, you know, like rings or something else, like cereal on top of it, top of my coffee mug. That's just for pleasure, basically. Around like 5 grams of it is really so light and so little. So in one little bag of this, I can go for a week or two even, because I eat so little of it, but it really helps me with my hunger and overall cravings for chocolate. I no longer have almost any cravings for chocolate, which is great, but that's because I eat chocolatey things, and I made my protein bars chocolatey from time to time. When I put something that's chocolatey like in different things that I eat, I compensate and I no longer crave chocolate, because I also had that problem. I craved a lot of chocolate when I had this binge eating problem. But I fixed that again with the little small things that are low in calorie but give me the chocolate taste, so I'm satisfied. There's also a stevia chocolate now in Bulgaria that is made along with erythritol, the two best sweeteners in the world, like I've said. And one like line of it, not line, but one row of it. I'm not sure what, like a bar of it. It's like 44 calories only, 44 only. So it's amazing. The whole chocolate is 256 calories compared to regular chocolate that's 2 or 3 times less. And you still have chocolate and it's pretty good. So it's not like you're depriving yourself. You can eat that chocolate. See you later. See you later, Diego. I'm finishing with this. I'm just giving my last advices on what to eat in a day. Then after I drink that coffee with the cocoa puffs or whatever that is, um, I eat at 4 or 4:30 in the afternoon. I just eat protein, 60 grams of protein, with a bit of a cocoa puffs. Sometimes I put milk in it. Now these days I just stop putting milk altogether to save calories. So just put water in the protein. It's unsweetened protein. I screw myself with that one because I really should have gotten like flavored protein, but I got the unflavored one, so I can make all the kinds of pastries that I want, which I can still do with the other protein. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna remove all the sweeteners from it and everything else. And now it's pretty terrible to eat it like that, so I have to sweeten it with stevia. Sometimes I put it's a baby food in it. It's not a baby food like you think. It's mm, meal. It's like oatmeal of sorts, but it's for babies. It has a lot of amino acids and vitamins with the taste of banana. It's very healthy, so I just put 30 grams of that because it's so much calories in that. So just 30 grams. It's about 150 15 calories. It's a lot on its own, but when I don't have that, just put the protein and Cocoa Puffs. And when I eat that, I'm done. So that is what I eat. I eat one big, or not actually big, but one piece of meat with a salad for breakfast, for first meal of the day. Then I eat one protein bar or nut bar, protein mostly. Then I drink the coffee with the Cocoa Puffs on it, which is like 5 grams of the Cocoa Puffs. And then I eat the 60 grams of protein with, again, a bit of a Cocoa Puffs. And if I have this banana vacacha, as we call it here, banana meal, the baby food in it, and that's it. I eat only that, and my macros for the day are like 110, around 110 grams of protein, like 120, maybe even less, but around 120. Well, let me just say, just tell you what. I mean, I have the database. I just don't know why. I'm not quoting it directly. I'm just gonna tell you what I have. I mean, what is the statistic here? Good night, good night. Okay, because this is my Galaxy S8. It's my old phone. The other is charging S10 Plus. So I don't know if it's gonna synchronize. I hope it does synchronize. Yeah. So that is yesterday? Oh yeah, yesterday is actually today, because already yeah. So today I only ate 106 grams of protein, 26 grams of fat, and 69 grams of carbohydrates. I just went low because I wasn't that hungry. You see that? Yep. That's for today. I went really low. Yesterday it was 102 grams of protein, 48 grams of fat, and 158 grams of carbohydrates, which is okay, but it's a bit high. Yesterday I went a bit overboard and ate ice cream between my meals and ate one banana, and I screwed myself up because in the morning I didn't decrease in weight anyway, so I did screw myself with that ice cream and that banana. And that, because that is additionally 300 calories together. So it's ridiculous. But just little things like that just totally can screw you up, and just, slow down your progress. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna fix myself. I'm gonna be fixed. I'm already like losing weight as I speak because I haven't eaten anything from 6:45, not 6, sorry, I'm thinking about the Bulgarian time, 16, which is 4:45 this afternoon. So I already fasted for like almost 8 hours now, and I'm going to be fasted till 12 the other day, which total are going to be like 19 or 20 hours. Maybe I'm even going to eat like at 1, or we'll see, depends on when I'm hungry. So maybe I'm going to pull off like a 24-hour fast tomorrow, who knows. It's not really a big deal when Saturday and Sunday is easy to do that, it's not hard. So that's it, guys. Just takes time. You're going to get like a pro with time, and then when you get when you are a pro, sorry, I'm very tired, my throat is like, when you get to that pro stage that you know everything, you can regulate yourself, even if you have this stressful time, even if you get into that situation, you can get out of it a lot quicker than a regular person. You can get back in shape like that. But yeah, keep working out always, no matter what stress you have, because that's, at least you're gonna gain muscle like I did. So that is it, guys. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to return with a lot more stuff as soon as I can, but first I'm gonna sleep. So thank you, Ivy. Thank you, Diego. Thank you, Chaudhry. Thank you, everybody. Love you guys. Good night. Sleep well.